And Dr. Graham was so receptive to just receiving whatever our story was and then being absolutely supportive to say, we'll meet you where you're at and this is what's going on and like, how can we support you going forward to make sure you have 2 healthy kids. For Hazel, my younger daughter, who was seen when she was about 2.5, she had never been examined before. So I was trying to get like a baseline for her, kind of where she was at. But really, the symptoms were more mild for Hazel in terms of there was no major sleep disruptions and that kind of thing, but a little bit of just as a mom wanting to be proactive. Her attention was off. So you could see that like maybe that there was something with like her breathing and everything that she wasn't having quite the ability to focus. And they could notice at this point she had started losing teeth and that there was a little bit of like crowding and that stuff was coming in crooked. And then she was more of a mouth breather versus a nasal breather. And then I kind of knew of her history of that she had done bottle feeding and had a nook that potentially that upper palate and her airway didn't have that first 2 years of maybe the best inputs. And so that's kind of why I wanted to jump on it to see, if there's any problem there and then what we could do about it. All the right questions were being asked and she was really like looking at it from a lens of the whole child and trying to figure out root cause, what was going on and stuff. So initially it was getting the information to her. And then the first appointment, it was really fluid and she was very engaged and the girls had a blast and stuff. And the comfort level was wonderful. And it was at the same time, like really quick and easy too. Why Airway is so important is because you want your child to be able to properly nasal breathe. How important it is to not be a mouth breather and to be a nasal breather. And that in order to do that, you have to have proper tongue placement and you have to be able to actually like utilize your nose properly instead of relying on the mouth. And that plays into everything, like the ability to sleep really well, to self-function. And then this has a broadening effect in terms of just hormones and energy levels. And it really ends up being like a systemic thing and a lifelong thing. So if you can get it when they're young and actually solve the problem before you have later issues that start to come up in adulthood. So it's really that like initial getting in, making sure that the mouth is healthy, there's enough room for the tongue and for the teeth, and that you can actually breathe how you're supposed to, which is through the nose. I think the airway health component started where there was such a recognition in terms of where breathing played into overall health, of that if someone cannot breathe properly, that if it's interfered at night, it's a major problem with sleep. If it's during the day, stress levels, how if you cannot breathe properly, and just in general oral health, it's not just something that's isolated to the mouth or to the airway, it's a systemic general health thing. So I think it started to come to greater knowledge where when you look at root cause and where you have people coming in who might say have lack of energy or they have sleep problems or they feel like they have digestive issues, when you start to dig a little bit deeper, it goes right back a lot of times to the airway. The sooner you can catch any problem, if you see a subtle issue going on, whether it be an adult or a child, if you can address it in the beginning and then get to the root cause and solve for it, it's massively better than on the back end trying to solve for some issue that's kind of exploded and become, a huge problem that needs like big corrective interventions, or now you have major health problems or behavior problems and so forth. So the sooner you can get it, like if you see some mild stuff going on, to be able to get evaluated and get some answers and then potentially get treatment. From the start, everyone was very welcoming coming into the office. The girls, both my girls are 7 and 3, and they have been nothing but comfortable coming in and super excited. It's been all positive experiences, and then at the same time, very educational and informative. So everything has been even clear. When we had our first appointment, it was appreciated at the end where before committing anything, you went over cost and kind of what the plan of care was and what was involved. She has found a way that she can have such a huge impact on other people's lives and their health, and has gone out of her way to do further training and really become like a leader in this area, which is just so needed in general for people. So I think of that, her embarking on this pathway and providing this service paired with just the fact that she's such a knowledgeable, compassionate provider in itself, and then that she's elected to take on Airway Health and put the two together and really be just so incredibly helpful, give back in so many different ways, and just be so supportive to families, and just like a level of empathy and compassion that comes with also the knowledge base is just a really special thing. And she's great with the adults, the parents, and then same for my kids. They love coming here. Yeah, absolutely love it.